Hello, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and today I'm going to show you how I make my Christmas ornaments. And I've been working on pinks, I've been experimenting with different laces and trims I have in my shop, just so that you can be inspired. I'm not going to show you all of these right now. I'm going to show them all to you at the end of this video, and we are going to work on the ones that have this, which is this white lace, which I've also placed it on a beautiful pink. I'm going to show you mostly this pink trim, which looks like this. But suddenly it started, I had like 25-30 yards of it, and suddenly it started selling a lot on Etsy. So I probably have under 10 yards for it. I'll be buying some more, but it may not be here in time for you to purchase it for the holidays, or it might. Okay, I'm going to show you how I measure this. I'm going to use a piece of lace for this. You could use a tape measure to measure it, but I thought I'd show you how to use just a piece of ribbon. It's cut flat, and I cut it here. I touch it here, and then I measure all the way to here. And if you want, you can cut it or just measure it, but it's really close. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. So that's really close right there. Then I take this piece, and you can measure it on your ruler, or you could just use a tape measure. So this measures around that way 7 1/4 inch. So what I found for this 7 1/4 inch bulb, I need about 11.5 to 12 inches of fabric. So a square, that's 11.5 to 12 inches square. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 inches to the length that I'm getting around it. So that's what you need to do. And you can adjust that if you're making multiples, but that's usually enough. And then if you want to actually sew the circle around it, you can make that circle that exact same distance, and then you can actually sew it and it'll go up quick. But I don't sew mine, and I'm not going to show you how to wrap the bulb right now, but I will show you at the end, and then I'll probably do a video on that. I'll probably take it out separately also in a video, because a lot of people don't know how I do it. But all I'm going to show you is just how to use this trim. So this is the lace we're going to use. Okay, and here it is on red. I love it on red. It's just gorgeous because it really stands out. On pink, it doesn't stand out as much. But what I do when I'm measuring my laces is I take the lace, and some laces are too large to place on a bulb. Other laces are, I try and tilt that up a little bit. Other laces are, might be too small, or usually they're not too small, but you might need more. For instance, let me show you one here. This one right here, I put 2 layers of a beautiful lace on this piece. So this was a pretty lace that I have in my shop right here. And then I wanted it to fill the bulb a little more, so I put 2 layers. And so you can do that. And I put this between it. Look how pretty that is. I love these colors. Kind of more of a rose colored. Okay, so what you do is you're going to measure it. You have your lace. Take it, and you place it around your bulb about where you think it will go. This does not need to be measured yet. And then see where the pattern goes. In this particular case, my pattern is so close. I don't know if you can see. My pattern is, and it really just lies right over on top of each other. That's my pattern. So I realize if I measure from there, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 scallops, and I have 5 scallops. And I usually take an extra scallop because when I do this, I make a decision on, I know I don't really want to cut. I think about what I'm going to cut. I don't want to think about where you're going to cut it at. Okay, so I can cut, I know that it goes right here, so 1 over. Now I can consider where I'm going to cut it. And I've cut it a couple of different places, but right now I decided it's going to go just like this. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and cut it. I'm just going to cut this and glue it right on top right there. So what I'll do is, this one's cut perfectly. I'm going to cut the other one this way. And I let it overlap. I want to overlap. And then like that. And now there's different ways of placing these on. You could just measure and place it on as you go. One of the things, if I'm able to, I like to glue it on top first and then I place it on top. So this is what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to glue this and on top of each other. I'm going to, this is the one that's going to go, this one's going to go on top of this one. And so I'm going to cut, oh, I guess I could do it this way. I'm going to put it on top like this. As long as you pay attention which one's going to go on top. And then you fussy cut around the bottom one. I'm going to remove this little circle part. And maybe just a little more of this. So you decide how you want to do it. But this is how I do it. Now I'm going to glue this on top of this one on top. Making sure it's correct. And the one that's on top, I fussy cut a little bit more. Like I'm going to decide that I'm going to cut this a little more fussy cutted, just so it looks really clean when I put it on. And really, when I do this, sometimes I have a hard time finding where I connect it, even when the pattern's not completely on. So it's okay to do a pattern that's not completely on. So hard to find it. This one happens to be completely on. And so I'm just going to copy the pattern. There we go. This is going on top. So I'm going to take this one and glue it right here on top of this one, right on top of it. This is one of the ways I like to do it. When I do this, I usually use a combination of, I have the cap in my mouth, of E6000 and hot glue. And the reason is that I like it to be permanent because I do sell these, but you can just use hot glue. And I'm going to put the E6000 on this. Okay. And then I'm also going to put, and I usually put the E6000 first. Why? Because it dries a lot slower. And then I'm going to place some hot glue here. And like this is really up to you where you put it and so forth. And that slipped. And I'm just gluing it right on top. And I may still fussy cut this more depending on how it looks. Look how that looks. Very continuous. See that? Looks very continuous. And I think this one was an extra one. I'm going to cut that off because this is what I have decided to do. You do you. You can actually have, I could have glued that on too. I'm going to go around and make sure this is actually glued very well. I'm going to line that up. So now I have my pattern and this should fit around my bulb. Sometimes I'll take the piece up this way and sometimes I'll take it from the bottom. In this case, it doesn't really matter. It fits so perfectly. Okay. And I know that I decided, let me see, where's the red one? The red one, I used this trim, which I do have. I have the trim we're using here in my Etsy shop, and I have this trim in my Etsy shop. And this was kind of more difficult to put on, so I was going to try and find something that works better. And so I'm going to place this on here, and it's not glued yet. I'm just eyeballing it. And then I decided I was going to use, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. I decided, see this trim right here? I decided I was going to use this trim. Now, when you do these, you can fussy cut these types of trims. I have this trim in my Etsy shop too. This is an old favorite. And I had already decided you can cut each one of these little flowers out and use them in your projects or actually on the bulb. But I'm going to cut it along here. Okay. And keep it connected. And this is how I'm going to attach it to my bulb. All right. So there we go. So there we go. I cut this part off. And here I have this. Now, I did have other choices, and I'll show you some of the choices because I do carry these in my shop. I have this choice, which I was thinking I could cut off just this bottom flower and then attach it around. That would look gorgeous. And then I had, what was the other one? Oh, I have some fringe like this. I know there was one more. If I run across it, I'll show it to you. But anyway, so I decided I was going to use this. So this is going to be very long around here, and it's going to actually droop down like that. Now I'm considering of trimming these, so I might trim them, but we'll see what I end up doing. So now I know what I'm going to put on there. I'm showing you what I'm using, and what I used in the past was over here on this one. I'm also going to show you this because I'm going to add this piece too, but it's going to also have dangles on it. So I'm going to do it much like this one. Okay. All right. So now it's actually on there, and now we got to glue it down. And one of the things I like to teach you is sometimes I would put these on and they'd be very crooked. So one technique I've shown you is, again, you can use a piece of lace, you can use a piece of cardboard or anything, and you decide about where you want your piece. And I'm deciding I want it to go kind of low, and I'm kind of looking to see, is it going to lay flat? And it is going to lay flat. And I'm going to try a little bit lower because I know I'm going to put that other trim on it. Okay, so I'm estimating here, but I still want to measure. Okay, that's a good place. Now I'm going to leave it there. And then you could take a piece of lace, you can pick a piece of cardboard, anything. Again, I'm putting it up here against the bottom of my bulb, and then I'm going to cut it exactly the length I want it. So now I have this little tiny piece of lace, and I'm going to just use it to measure all the way around and put it down. I should use something thicker, and I'm just going to make sure that every corner on the pattern is the same. I'm double checking. So I double check and triple check because your eyes will deceive you. They really do. And then, or things move around too. Things move around. So, yeah, that's about, let me check this last one. I think this one needs to be checked. So I'm putting it up against the edge where I started the measurement, and you can see it overlaps just a teeny tiny bit. I'll pull it down just that teeny tiny bit. And then once I measure one, I'll hold it in place, and then I'll put a tiny bit of hot glue. We're going to add, oh, look what I did. I put a little bit of glue right there. I hate doing that. Okay, just a little bit of hot glue, and that's going to hold it in place. Now, I usually go from that side to the opposite side, or every other one, and I remeasure. Pulled it down just a tad bit because it moves. Hold it with my thumb. I did the same thing I did earlier. Boy, put a little glue on there. On red, you can't do this because it will just show. And also, even if it does show, though, you can find ways to correct it by putting something else, a jewel or anything else you want on it. So I'm just going to do the same thing, keeping it, count that little knot. And it's very close, so I'm just going to hold it down. This time I'll be more careful. Maybe I'll flip it first so I don't get glue on there. And this is just a tack. It's like tacking when you're sewing. That's what these are. And I'm checking to see what I did them all. This one needs to be done too still. Okay, so I'm putting it on there. Measuring about, looks good. So now it'll be very close. It's never gonna be exact. Just feel comfortable with that. I just would do it and put all this time in an ornament, and then it would just be so off that I was just like, I have showed you before to use a little like sewing ruler and bend it. You can do that, but this time I didn't even know where they were, so I figured out a different way to do it. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and just glue all of this down, and I'm not going to touch this part yet. I'm going to go glue all this down. Now I am going to use fabric tack to do my initial, and I will take parts. I won't glue the whole thing in the first part. I'm going to do one for you. I'll do this, like do a little here, because I always want fabric tack to be part of what's in there, but it doesn't need to be the whole thing. And then I will gently push it downward. Okay, and then I'll come back and I'll put hot glue right here. and glue that down. And I might put hot glue right over here along all these. So if you like it lying like that without going against the bulb, then you can leave it like that. This is all up to you. All right, for now I did all of those, and I ended up on the tips. I did put hot glue. I put a little bit of fabric tack up along here. Now I'm going to go along and do more gluing. And when I did this, I decided to leave this pretty, like the chain part of this decoration, pretty much the way it is. Now I just glued these down, and maybe you can put a little glue on this if you want. And one of the other things in my design is where this little circle is, I ended up putting where this little circle is, I've ended up putting a bead there. I felt it was easier to attach the bead when I removed that little circle. I fussy cutted it off. So I will go around before I glue this down. I'm going to go around and some of these things you figure out after the fact. And this, I wanted to show you it this way because I did figure this out after the fact. I'm going to remove that circle on every single one. Okay, I kind of did all that, and you can actually do that in any order that you want, but I decided to do it. Now I'm going to place this on here, and I'm going to glue it just like that, and not too much bulk because I'm going to be placing something else over it, and I'll show you how I did that. I don't think it's going to need it, but I decided I wanted to show you how I did that one so that you can use the technique I used for different things. Okay, so I did one, and then I basically will pull this one up and then glue it down, and then looks like about not completely 4 will fit on there, but I will put them on there. Okay, I did that, and now I decided to I'm gonna leave only 2 on each one. So I just been cutting them off. And then these don't throw these little pieces away, because you can use these little pieces on other things. You can actually add it here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to prepare is on this particular one, I placed something here on the bottom, and I placed this on top, and I'm going to use show you what I did there. On this one, I just put this, and I put beads and a small one. I have this kind of a glitter one in my Etsy shop with some sequin. Actually I don't have this one in there, but I have smaller ones in there, and then I put beads on it. So we're going to prepare this now. I want you to see this trim. This trim is another trim I carry in my shop, and I think I sell it by the motif. But I use these in different ways. If you notice this one, I took a fussy cut and I placed it on the bottom. And the other one, I'm going to show you how I put it actually on the top. Now what you can do is you go ahead and fussy cut it out. There you go. Alright, let's see. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I took and I removed the centers of this, and I actually removed all of this, including this little tiny little ball right here. There's a little ball there. I'm saying ball, but it's, it's part of the embellishment. And this is just showing you different, very versatile ways that you can use some of the things you might have in your shop. You might have a doily that you can use for this. I do have doilies, and I could use a doily. I was thinking of making a doily themed one, but that's something that I have a few doilies in my shop, but I don't have a whole lot. So I kind of wanted to show you with something that you can actually acquire if you have the lace, but some lace that you want to use, but you don't have, but you want something else to embellish it with, then go ahead and just cut it all the way along that edge. Okay, I fussy cut that, and I'm going to show you what I did with it. Now, if you want to attach this, there's 2 ways. I did it this way because my top here, it's pretty a thin fabric. I actually just pushed it through like this, and then I just placed it right here, and just adjust it where you want it. And then I am still going to add something else on there, like a bead, but I'm going to go ahead because I added these dangles this time. I'm going to make sure those are kind of even before I do any gluing down. I'll go around and make sure these are, when I glue them down, make sure they're going down straight. So you can choose to do this or you can skip this. This is up to you. It's just layers of dimensions of things, and you can cut more of these, cut these shorter, or you can leave it long. That's all up to you. You can glue down as much as you want. Now the next thing I did is this one. I use it on the bottom. Let's see if it fits this time. So when you measure it on the bottom, I see that it's going to overlap on these little flowers. So I could do two things, because this one it touched, but I chose to pull this lower because I knew I was going to put something up here. So maybe instead of this one, I can choose a different one. I have these in my Etsy shop also. We can just put this one here. Or the one, I don't think I have another one out, do I? Of the other fussy cut one. There it is, yeah. So this one right here might be smaller. You can try that. I decided I'm going to just use this one. So use whichever you want. But all I did was I kind of guessed at the center. That's what I'm doing here. I'm putting it where I think it's about the center, holding it down with my thumb, and then I'll put some glue here. And I usually don't glue all at one in one swoop. I usually kind of look and say, okay, does that look even? And then I'll add more glue. So that's pretty much what I did here. I'm going to actually remove this. I don't want to use that because I know I'm going to put something else on. So this was just a test so I could show you how I used that. And let's see what's going to happen next. Next, we're going to do the inside. Now, what I've been doing is I've shown you on other ones that I actually have just been tying some laces here, a complementary lace. Here I have in my Etsy shop some, you can figure out how to put these on yourself, but I have some flat back trims. This one here is the 6mm, and this one here is the, is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4mm. So you can see the difference in the sizes. I do have pink. I think on this one, I think I'm going to make this piece pink. And basically it's just gluing it on and then deciding how many pearls to add or not to add, or don't add any at all, because this lace is just gorgeous the way it is. So let me see, what am I going to use? Okay, I'm going to use some white lace, I think, and I'm going to go ahead and get me these pearls right here, and I will be back. Okay, now I found some laces, and I got the trim I'm going to use. But we're going to go ahead and do the inside of it because the other part is going to be quite easy. I chose this lace. This is a lace I have in my Etsy shop. I like to choose things that you can do. I have this lace and this lace, and we could use both of those lace for this purpose. I like this one because I'm going to use it. It's double, and I use these in my little miniature dresses that I design. Cut it down the middle, and I just tear it like this. And I'm going to use this part of it for the hanger, and this one, I'm going to cut one of them in half, and the other one I'm going to use for the hanger. Okay, you can use anything you want for the hangers, any trims, you could use beads. I've done some tutorials on somewhere how to attach the beads, how I attach the beads anyway, not how to, but really how I do it, because we all have our own way of doing things. So what I'm doing is I'm dovetailing these because I'm going to use them to attach it. And when you get your lace, you want to have the lace stick out a little bit, but not too much. So I was thinking that 1, 2, 3, the pattern of 3 would probably be good. And I'm going to cut it. 1, 2. I'll do one of these for you. And then I usually take this, fold it in half, and I dovetail it before I put it on. Like that It looks kind of short. We'll see how it works. If not, we might need to go longer. We'll see. And then I'll take this and I'll just attach it like this over with the thin one. Have the thin lace. And I knot it on like that. That looks kind of short, so I might need to make it a little longer. And then I'll take this lace, put it through the hole that's here. Oh, I did glue this down. I usually glue them down because they do fall off sometimes. So, and then I'm just knotting it on that metal. In the past, like old tutorials, I have glued it on. So yeah, actually that's probably pretty perfect. You can make it a little longer than that. That's kind of barely sticking out. So I'm gonna just keep it. I'll just make sure I don't cut off there, and then just do the other side and attach the other side. I'm not going to show you how to do that twice. And then this one right here. So at this point, if you want to add beads or anything else, you can add them at this time. And I usually take this piece and I make the hanger about. I never do it exact. I knot it around where I start the knot, about where I might want the hanger to be. Also, how about that? About 4 fingers. That's going to be the hanger. And this is going to be attached to here. So I'll put that one. I'll put one on this side, this hanger in the middle, then another set of the lace on the other side. And I'm sticking it through. Normally I do dovetail it, and then it has little points to get it through. But this is just one way I've done it, where I feel like I'm not just attaching it with glue, I'm attaching it with the actual thin lace. But like I said, you can use whatever you have. So now we have a hanger, and then we have one, and then I'm going to put another one over here on the other side. All right, now I have placed it on there, and normally I do make them a little longer than that. What I would do is probably pull on one, try to make it a little longer. And then here you can just dovetail all these extras to the size you want it. You can see it just gorgeous. And now I'm going to use, for attaching, I'm going to attach some of these. I'm going to show you how I attach them. What I did is I attached them, let me see, along here, right there. And I'm going to go ahead and attach them there and all the way around. And when I attach beads, I usually don't just use hot glue. I usually use fabric tack or E6000. I just don't want them falling off on for my customer. So for my pattern, I'm going to go ahead and do them separately. I had left it continuous when I did it, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 4mm. And I'm just going to place it like that, right on there. And here's, I'm going to use the, now what's good about fabric tack, there's some good things about fabric tack and some bad things about fabric tack, and some good things about hot glue. And I'm just placing a little bit like that, like that. One thing about fabric tack, you could put it on, you could take your time, you don't have to feel like you're in a hurry, and you can attach it just like that, slowly. When you work with small things, sometimes it helps to have tweezers and glasses, maybe. Probably help me if I had glasses. So I'm going to place that on there. I'm actually making it in an arch formation, just because this is arched. And if it works, I'll do it. If it doesn't work well, I'll snip one of the little threads. And so it does stick. Can you see it sticks? It's just, when you're working with a lot of stuff, it doesn't stick hard enough where sometimes it'll just come apart. Where hot glue will stick more quickly. This will take a little while to dry, but it's not going to fall off at all. How many did I get cut? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. I'm going to cut 9 more. I think 1, 2, 3 more times, and then I'm going to attach them all individually. Okay, here I'm almost done doing all of it. And one of the things I like about E6000 is that you can place it on there, and then because we're forming a little bit of an arch, I'm able to go here and place it here, and then make sure that it's pushed up here in the center so that it makes a little small arch. Decide what you like. I think I'll do a double layer of this small one if I need to, maybe just a single layer. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on there. I just want them beads to match. So each color from the 6mm to the 4mm, they might be different colors. So here I go again with some fabric tack. It worked really good. I put that in my mouth. So you might not want to use my fabric tack. Huh? So I'm going to put it up along here. And I might double layer it. We'll see what I end up doing. So you make decisions on your own to further your embellishment, to make those types of decisions. I still got to finish this up. But next, I'm going to finish this later. But I kind of wanted to show you how I do it. And some of the items that I have in my shop that you can use to enhance. You can use your lace here, and maybe you want other features of it. But I'm going to show you how I wrap a bulb. Okay, this one, it's easiest to, the thinner the fabric, the easier it is to wrap a bulb. Let me make some room here. So this lace, I have found, I'm going to show you some of them. This is a beautiful, oh, take that off. This is a beautiful French lace that I use to wrap this clear bulb. It's a clear bulb. This is this lace with this bulb. This one is a lace on a clear bulb. You can barely see the difference. So I like how this bulb, the glittery, this bulb is a little bit bigger than the glass bulb, just a little bigger. And this works for the pattern of your thing. So we're going to wrap this bulb. And here's the clear bulb. You can see there, the clear one's a little smaller than this one. Since I liked this glittery look through the lace so much, I'm going to wrap it with this one. And I take it, and this one is actually a little too short. Let me see how long it is. I know it was too short. This one is 10 1/4. Maybe it's a little wider in the bottom. And then this way it is almost 12 inches. So it's a little smaller than I usually make it. I usually make it at least 11 inches. Kind of like the center. And I usually, the shortest side, I kind of try to measure that by pulling it over. Because this is kind of shorter than I normally have it. You can still use this piece even though it's a little shorter. As long as it covers this area. And then I usually come and start gathering a little bit at a time. It's easier to slide on the clear and shiny bulbs. This one has a texture, like glittery texture to it, so it doesn't slide as much. But I do a little bit of the gathering, and it's, like I said, it's easiest to do with lace, a stretchy fabric, a fabric that has a tiny bit of stretch. And I put it on, and then I start grabbing it from that side. And this is just my initial gather. I actually gather a bit more. I mean, I still do more, but I do a little bit of a gather as I'm first initially put it on. Okay. All right, so now this is how it is so far. Then I'll take my small, I have videos where I show you how I use the rubber band. I like the rubber band because I feel like it kind of gives me the ability to stretch it. I cut this lace a little too small, but it'll work. Okay, I'm just, this one here at the top, it's a little smaller than that other bulb, and I like that. I like that it gets nice and tight, and I'm making it pretty snug. There, now it's nice and snug. Now, on a if you had a different fabric, you would have a lot more wrinkles here than you do on this one. This one's actually not too bad, just by that estimate. But then I still go around the whole thing, and I start with the short sides, because these, look at, this is a little short and that's a little short. So I start with the short sides first, and you'll always have a short side. No, even if you make this ball, make it perfect square, it seems like you're still going to have problems with that. And this stretches a little bit, so this pulls up a little bit, some of that shortness. So go around and just pull and keep on going around your bulb. What I do is, if I see a big fold, I will like separate it a little bit and kind of gather it smaller. And you have to do that more for the fabric ones than you do for the lace. The lace seems like, if you do it from your hand like that, it's not too bad. This one, a shiny bulb will slide easier. This one you might have to go like this and slide it, just making it even. I actually did practice. You can really see a fold right there, and I'm going to open up that fold a little bit. I'm going to finish up here soon because I need to go start cooking dinner. I was going to make chile verde today. But I will quickly show you the other ornaments that I have going on. I'll probably be taking photos of them tomorrow, and then you'll be able to see photos of them. Maybe a mini video, short video or something of them. But I did want to show you this. A lot of people ask for it. And there you go. And so now this right here, I take this and I get my nice sharp scissors, the bigger ones, which are buried over here. And I kind of just do a cut. This can be adjusted a little more after you cut it, you know, just make it the shape you want it. And there you go. There's your lace on top. Okay. And look at the short side right here. Doesn't make that big of a deal. It's not really that big of a difference. It just looks like when I first designed these, I basically said I make a flower here on top. And that's what this represents, is a pretty flower, a big giant flower on top. If you look at my old tutorials, the first time I came up with this, not that I'm the only one who's wrapped it, but a lot of times they were cutting it off, and I saw the beauty of it going there. I mean, I'm probably not the only one that's ever thought of that, but it is what it came to me on my own. So there you go. That's a beautiful ball. This pretty, just like this, to put on your tree, or you can enhance it like this, like there. And so this is the one we did. Now I'm going to show you all the other bulbs I have with the other laces. Okay, here. And I can do a tutorial with this lace right here, but my problem is I know I don't have enough for you guys to buy it right now, because I have like maybe 8 yards left. So if you really want that, you do it the same way on that same bulb. It fit 4 scallops, 1, 2, 3, 4. That same bulb we just did, that I showed you. Oh, look at this one. I just made this really big one. I have this gorgeous lace. Oh, put it low. I have this gorgeous lace in my shop. It's really large with beautiful, beautiful fringe at the bottom, a lot of it. And it fits on this really giant bulb. This is let's look at the comparison. See, it's a big bulb. So if you want to make big bulbs and make them gorgeous, and all I did is, this is just a regular bulb. I just was practicing on it. You could put fabric on it too, which I might do that, but I like just putting it on that one. That one looks gorgeous. And this is one of my favorite laces. Oops, my favorite laces. I don't think I have a sample here, but it pretty much looks just like that. This makes it look very vintage looking. And I used cream flat back beads on this one with different laces on top. I showed you this one already. It's in red. Oh, and then look at this is my other red one I made. Pretty, huh? This is just a gorgeous lace that I have in my shop. And I actually kind of did a little stretching on this one. This is the shiny ball, so it's a tiny bit bigger than the other one. So you need a slightly bigger than the one I just showed you on. And it will stretch too if you actually have a slightly bigger ball. This will stretch. Look, oh, let me grab some right here. Look how gorgeous that is. If you want to make red, that's the red on white lace, and then I put red in the center. Gorgeous. And then I used a shiny ball through, and I just finished that one, and I wanted to try it out. But let's try it out on the one we just wrapped so you could just see how it fits. That's the size I used here. I have one that's slightly larger. I'll pull it out right now so you could see, but as you can see it fits barely. It was overlapping just a little, so it will, if you stretch it, it will fit on actually a larger bulb. Here's this one. Oops, this one is just a little bigger. It's just a plastic bulb. It looks a little bigger. Look, oh, that looked pretty. Green and red. Yeah, see, now that one doesn't touch, but see, if you just do a slight stretch, it'll touch. And this one, I stretched this one upward because you can see slightly, let me see, you can see it's slightly longer. That's because I just stretched it when I was gluing it on. I stretched it a little bit because I knew I had plenty of room. So I used it to fill out that bulb. I think I'm going to put this red one on this screen right here. That's so pretty. So there we go. This is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and I hope you were inspired to create your own. If you still want to see that pink with that pink lace, I will do it if I get enough people commenting, because I'm going to be going on vacation soon. But one point is, if you do buy the pink lace, it will go on the same way. You just find your pattern. I'm gonna put this one on this way now. I like the idea of this way. That way, I will just put one thing here in the bottom if I want. If not, leave that beautiful shiny lace. And as you can see on this bulb, it doesn't completely fit. It fits best on that other bulb, but it will fit if you stretch it just a little. This is actually a full pattern right there. So on the shiny bulbs, this is the shiny bulb, it fits perfect, see? To perfection. Again, I just measured it the way I attached, find about how I want it, found a measurement, attached one, and then made sure I checked all around, and then I did my final adjustment there. So that will be beautiful. I think that will look pretty right there. Okay, I think that's it. I just wanted to show you how I made that bulb and encourage you to make your own Christmas ornaments. I think I forgot to say something. Oh yes, here. So I forgot to say this. On the pink one, as you can see, I had different things. I wanted to fill out this little area right here. So I have this in my shop. These are the little small sequin bows, and I put that on this one. On this one, I have some small sequin round ones. I put it on the white one. See that? There was this one. It's not the same one. Oh, here it is. This one, on that spot, I used the heart. So in other words, if you flip this lace around, you might embellish a little more on the bottom rather than on the top. And I want the pink bulb, the pink lace, to be seen the most. So that's why I decided, I think next time I will flip it upside down. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys next time.